Welcome into the channel. So today we are back in front of the LG C2 and I'm here to lodge my first formal complaint about the LG C2. But the question, before I do that, the question is it an issue with the LG, an issue with what's connected, or is it me? Do I not have it set up properly? So I'm going to kind of walk through how I have things set up with this TV, and I'm going to lean on the community a little bit here to see, A, do you have a very similar setup, and B, are you encountering what I am? And that topic for this video, this issue that I'm having, is all about the audio. So before we get into it, let's get the usual YouTube things out of the way. If you like anything about the video, if you like this sort of content, drop a like on the video, really helps the channel, doesn't cost you anything. If you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button with the bell notification so you know when I do an upload. Okay, first thing, let's talk about how this is set up. So, LG C2, what's connected to it? PS5, Apple TV 4K second generation, receiver, which is a Sony STR DH790, and an Xbox Series X. And how is it set up? Well, I have everything running through the TV, so I don't have everything plugged in through the receiver and then one cable out of the receiver to the TV. All of those individual components run to their own HDMI ports on the TV. So in this instance, on HDMI 2, I have that one running to the Sony STR DH790 receiver. I have eARC set up, yada, yada, yada. The issue I'm running into here is that if you go into Netflix and you see like the banner telling you the resolution of the movie or the show and the audio format, I've noticed it always, like, let's just use the Dolby Vision example, like the pale blue eye. It says Dolby Vision for the visuals, but for the audio it says 5.1. And so I started trying to figure out, well, why does it say that? Because I think I have this set up properly. And for context, I have a very similar setup for our living room TV, which is a Sony A80J OLED. Same sort of setup. Everything is running through the TV with the TV running on the eARC/ARC port running to a receiver. And I have eARC set up on that TV and it has no issue at all playing Dolby Atmos. That's what this is about, Dolby Atmos. And when you go to a Netflix title on the A80J, and the way it's set up, it'll say Dolby Vision, and right next to it will say Dolby Atmos. But for some reason on the C2 here, I cannot get this to say Dolby Vision and then Dolby Atmos. So first, let's dig into the TV settings here, and I'll show you how I have everything set up on the TV itself. So let's go in here, let's go to sound. You'll see right here, it says sound out, HDMI ARC device, okay? Advanced settings. You see this right here where everything's grayed out? Let me scroll down real quick. Select HDMI input audio format, okay? HDMI 3, that's what we're on. Bitstream. Your two options here are Bitstream and PCM. From what I understand, you have to have this set up on Bitstream for it to enable or to have the capability to play Dolby Atmos. So I have it on Bitstream. Let's go down here. As you can see, if I can get this cursor to go down, digital sound output. Let's click in there and see what we have. We have PCM, audio, and pass-through. Now, pass-through is how I have it set up on the Sony in the living room. No issues. From my understanding, just kind of looking around online on setting this up, you should have this on pass-through. Okay, it's set up on pass-through. And then of course, probably the most important thing, eARC support down here. As you could see, it's checked on. Yet everything is grayed out here and it won't do it. So let's get back out of that. Now, let's take a look at how the Apple TV is set up. You're thinking, well, maybe you don't have that set up correctly. Let's go into settings, video and audio. We'll skip down here. Audio format. You see how it only says auto? For frame of reference, when I go into the same setting on the A80J and the Apple TV out there, it'll say something like auto and then comma Dolby Atmos available. Like I'll even go in here And when I go into this same section on the Sony setup, right here it'll say, of course, change format, but below that it'll say something like immersive audio available or something like that, and it'll have Dolby Atmos. And so in this menu, it tells me that Dolby Atmos is available, whereas you could see here, it's not showing any of that. So as we go back to the home screen here on the Apple TV, I thought I'd just kind of do a run through here and see if the community might have some help here. So in the comments, if you have a C2 running through a receiver and everything connected to the TV, are you able to get Dolby Atmos to play properly on your C2? While I'm here, might as well mention, if I disconnect my receiver and everything is just playing from the TV speakers, the Dolby Atmos badging on the TV up in the upper right corner and Netflix comes back. Okay, if I use the apps on the TV and I'm only using the TV speakers, Dolby Atmos becomes available, including, press and hold this settings button again, sound, settings. When I come back in here, all of this is enabled. I can now go in and make changes, but only when the TV speakers are being used. So the question becomes, is this the way LG has this set up? That the only way to get Dolby Atmos is through the TV itself? Is it potentially something in the settings that I'm missing on the Apple TV or even the receiver? I really don't think so, because again, I have things set up in a similar way on the living room TV, the A80J, and I have no problems with the TV and let's say Netflix showing me, okay, this one's an Atmos available title, so it says Atmos badge and it plays Atmos. It'll say Dolby Atmos on the receiver display screen. It'll start scrolling across the bottom when you start playing the movie, Dolby Atmos or whatever. Whenever I play that same movie, the way this is connected and set up on this TV, it'll say something on the receiver display screen like Dolby Audio - Dolby Surround Sound. That's what I get. And on the Netflix badging itself, it'll say Dolby Vision and it'll just have 5.1 over there. Now, I'm not here to say that it sounds bad or I'm unhappy with the audio, but I think for me, it's more of the principle of the thing. It's like, from my understanding, I have the TV settings set up properly to enable Dolby Atmos. I have the Apple TV set up properly because that's how it's set up in the living room and it works fine. And I have the exact same receiver on this TV as the one in the living room. So I know how that one's set up, and the receiver is set up properly as well. So again, I'll request comments below if you have a C2 or even a C1. Maybe it's the same on the C1s, etc. If you have a receiver plugged in and everything running through the TV, were you able to get Dolby Atmos to play properly? Well, if you're still sticking around here, thank you so much for watching the video. Look forward to seeing the comments. Again, if you're new, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you know when I do another upload, and hit the like button for sure, because again, all of that stuff's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It takes you 2 seconds, and all of it means the world to the channel. Thanks for watching.